Dr. Oz, Trump's head of Medicare and Medicaid, and guy at the urinal next to you saying your pee should be clearer. He just came out with an important message about your health.
He's on the move.
Let's go, Chris. Diane, just join me. I love walking. It's a whole special joy. It makes you think a little clearer, get outside a little bit, get your heart pumping. It turns out if you could walk just 20 minutes a day, it could save our country $100 billion in reduced health expenditures. That's why it's so important to create a little flash mob. Let's go, team.
This is what happens when you try to do one of those Jennifer Hudson spirit tunnels, but you only have white people. Also, no one exercises to improve the government's finances. Imagine if your Peloton instructor was like, okay, 5 more minutes and Kash Patel can fly private to Burning Man. But are we really advertising walking? Isn't that like a basic biological activity? What's the next video in this series? Hi, I'm Dr. Oz. Have you tried shitting in a toilet? It could save us billions. If you questioned his judgment after those stories came out about him taking home dead whales and dead bears, I have great news. There's a new animal you can add to the list.
The New York Post reports that in a 2001 diary entry, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. wrote about cutting off the penis of a road-killed raccoon while his kids waited patiently in the car so that he could examine it later.
What is wrong with this man? He cut off a raccoon's penis and saved it for later like some kind of raccoon dick push pop. And I know he put it right in his jeans pocket too. Didn't even wrap it in a tissue or anything. Every time I hear about one of these RFK stories, they always mention that his kids were waiting patiently. Which means RFK just doesn't know the difference between patience and horror. I'm sure all the hostages in a bank robbery are waiting patiently to go home. It must have been so traumatic for his kids. Any car trip with him could turn into a roadkill excursion at any moment. When he asks his kids if they want to go run errands with him, they must be like, can't you just beat us? I mean, use an extension cord like a regular dad. Regardless, you will never, and I mean never, beat RFK Jr. in a game of Never Have I Ever. You'd be sitting with them like, never have I ever eaten a raccoon's, I did it. I didn't even say what part yet, doesn't matter.
Recent polls show that young Republicans are starting to turn on Trump, especially over the war with Iran. But Donald Trump is not worried because he's got the one guy who has the riz to Trump Max Gen Z again. I'm talking about Vice President J.D. Vance. Yesterday, he went to a TPUSA event, and just look at the packed crowd that came out to see him. Oh my God, have you ever seen such a handful of people? It's very nice of Turning Point to institute COVID rules 6 years too late. But J.D. Vance managed to inspire the crowd with his stirring message of, please don't leave me.
I recognize that a lot of young voters don't love the policy that we have in the Middle East. Okay, I understand that. What I'm saying is, don't get disengaged because you disagree with the administration on one topic. Get more involved. Make your voice heard even more. That's how we ultimately take the country back.
Yeah. That's right, JD. It's time to take the country back from yourself? Like, what are you talking about? Taking back from what? Republicans have everything. Republicans control the Congress, the White House, the Supreme Court, old media, social media. You even took a Kennedy. I mean, you can keep him, but you still took him. At this point... You're fighting the establishment. You are the establishment, buddy. At this point, liberals are like, all we have left is blue sky, and we hate that. But young conservatives aren't just mad at Trump because of the war. They're also mad about the thing he started the war to distract us from. The Epstein files. Yeah, remember that? Yeah. Well, you know what? The streets still have questions. But J.D. Vance tried to bail Trump out of that one, too.
When Donald Trump says, when the president says this is a hoax, he's not saying it's a hoax that Epstein was the scumbag. He's saying this democratic idea that somehow he was Epstein's best friend. Jeffrey Epstein hated Donald Trump. And Donald Trump hated Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, Trump and Epstein always hated each other. We all remember that famous video of them.
Everyone here is my friend, except you. I hate you.
I hate you too.
You're a sick pervert. I hate you so much. Go, leave. Kill yourself.
Case closed. For most of the world, this war cannot end soon enough. And today we got an update from Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense and worst part of every Hooters waitress's day. He came out. Hooters. He came out at a press conference this morning, and you can tell he's laser focused on defeating Iran.
A note to the press corps, to the American media, as I just can't help but notice the endless stream of garbage, the relentlessly negative coverage.
Okay, right. Well, no, obviously he has to defeat the American media first, but then Iran.
In the press, you only seek the negative, earning each and every day the fake news label.
Okay, I get it. We suck, fine. Okay, but what about the Hormuz?
Sometimes it's hard to figure out what side some of you are actually on. It's incredibly unpatriotic. Where's the coverage of the new spirit in the country?
Yeah, you stupid fake news media. Show some headlines about spirit in America. Like how about Spirit Airlines may have to liquidate due to rising fuel prices? Okay, well, you guys are so happy that Spirit is liquid. You know what I mean, okay? Stop with all the crybaby anti-Trump questions like, why haven't we achieved any of the goals in the war? It's just f***ing babies. Only good Christian patriotic questions from now on. Okay, go.
Iranian embassy accounts are sharing an AI video of Jesus Christ kind of bloodily killing President Donald Trump. Does the Pentagon have a response to this, including the fact that this AI Jesus is casting Trump into hell?
Now there's a question. What does the Pentagon think of Iran's AI video where Jesus kills Trump and tosses him into hell? Which, by the way, is too graphic to even show on TV. And as you all know, there's no other place besides TV to watch videos, so I guess you'll never see it. But what say you, Secretary Hegseth? Are you pro or con this video of Trump being sent to the fires of hell by AI Jesus?
As far as a video like that, of course, that's disgusting and detached from reality.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for clarifying that Jesus punching Trump straight into hell was not reality. I don't think there were a ton of people going, so are they going to arrest Jesus for this or what? I mean, I was all set to go to my nearest church, find a priest, and be like, what the f***, man? Get control of your boy.
FBI director and man who starts every day by looking in the mirror and saying, freeze, freeze, FBI, freeze. In his tenure as FBI director, he's almost solved dozens of cases. But this time, the case is about him.
FBI Director Kash Patel is now suing for defamation over a bombshell new article. Sources told the magazine The Atlantic that Patel, quote, has alarmed colleagues with episodes of excessive drinking and unexplained absences. He wants $250 million in damages.
$250 million? Our Kash Patel? Excessive drinking? I can't imagine such a thing. I mean, yeah, he does always have the look of a drunk guy trying to convince you he's sober. But I've never seen him actually drink. Although, now that I think about it, there was that one time. Yes, I remember my first 10,000th beer. I guess in retrospect, if a room full of 21-year-old concussed hockey players thinks you're a good hang, you probably shouldn't be in charge of the FBI. You probably shouldn't even be in charge of the rental skates at the rink. By the way, fun fact, Kash was already in there drinking. He didn't even know the Olympics were happening. That's why he was so happy when the hockey team showed up. But so what? The guy parties when Team USA wins a gold medal. That's not worth $250 million. How bad are these accusations?
On multiple occasions in the past year, members of Patel's security detail had difficulty waking him because he was seemingly intoxicated. At one point, the article claims even prompting a request for SWAT-style breaching equipment because the director had been unreachable behind locked doors.
Okay, I mean, that sounds pretty bad. Look, I've been hungover, but I've never been so hungover they had to wake me up the same way they killed bin Laden. What else you got?
During Patel's tenure as FBI director, the FBI has had to reschedule early meetings as a, quote, result of his alcohol-fueled nights, adding that Director Patel is often away or unreachable. The story also goes on to report Patel is a frequent guest of the Poodle Room at the Fontainebleau Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Okay. It is a little weird that a man whose job is in Washington, D.C. also frequently goes to something called the Poodle Room in Las Vegas, but I'm sure the Poodle Room is a distinguished, respectable, hypoallergenic social club where important men network and exchange ideas. So it's a Coke den. Ladies, if you want to get an STD on a circular waterbed, might I recommend meeting a gentleman at the Poodle Room. Imagine you're this guy at the Poodle Room just having a good time with your shirt unbuttoned all the way, and all of a sudden you're like, is that the FBI director throwing up on himself? And there's more in this article than just stories about Kash drinking. There's also stories about him being stupid and a little high-strung.
Back on April 10th, Patel had trouble logging on to an internal computer system.
It was just a technical glitch, but Patel quickly became convinced he had been locked out, and he panicked, frantically calling aides and allies to announce he had been fired by the White House.
Whoa! Calm down, Kash. How paranoid are you if the moment you have trouble logging into your computer, you think you got fired? Oh, no, they fired me. Get me on a plane to China. I'm going to tell them all my secrets. I hate this country and everybody in it. Oh, wait, I just had the caps lock on. Everything's cool. God, I need a drink. But it is concerning that the guy who's supposed to be the country's top investigator can't crack the case of logging into his own computer. No wonder he's pissed off. What else does he have to say about this article?
We are not going to take this laying down. You want to attack my character? Come at me. Bring it on.
Yeah, that's right. He's not going to take this laying down, because then they'd have to get the SWAT team in to wake him up. But now, as a part of his lawsuit, Kash argues that under his leadership, the FBI has achieved historic law enforcement results, which Even if that were true, doesn't prove anything. People can accomplish incredible things when they're drunk. If Tiger Woods can successfully park in a ditch, then Kash Patel can be like, hey, go arrest some bad guys. Hell, I'm a little drunk right now, and I think we all agree I'm f***ing nailing it. Let's say hello to Labor Secretary Lori Chavez DeRemer. She's one of the more obscure cabinet secretaries, but it's never too late to get to know her.
Lori Chavez DeRemer has resigned.
Damn it! Not you too, Lori. It's always the ones you never heard of. But that's right. Secretary Lori has resigned over a scandal. And if you're wondering which scandal, the answer is yes.
Her departure comes amid multiple scandals and investigations, including drinking on the job, allegedly taking staff to a strip club, and using department resources for personal trips. Chavez DeRemer is also accused of having an affair with a member of her security team.
What the hell? Was she going through her workplace anti-harassment training like challenge accepted? Taking your staff to strip clubs, really? I can't think of a more inappropriate place for a government official to be spending their time. Well, maybe a strip club isn't so bad after all. But before you jackals in the media go tearing Lori down just because she knows how to party, don't forget, this woman has a family. Have a little respect for what her husband is going through.
Her husband also in hot water. He was banned from the department's headquarters earlier this year after 2 women accused him of sexual misconduct.
What? My boy was banned from his wife's office for sexual harassment? I've heard of men cheating while their wives were at work. I've never heard of a man cheating at his wife's work. This guy's unreal. And to do it all with resting, I'm gonna sniff your neck face, that's so impressive. Well, this cannot get worse for Lori. I can't imagine anything more embarrassing than your staff being sexually harassed at work by your husband.
The New York Times reports that the secretary's husband, quote, exchanged text messages with young female staff members, as did her father.
Holy shit! Her dad? They're saying her dad is trying to tag team his daughter's staff with his son-in-law? Well, no wonder she's drinking at work. No. This must be a misunderstanding.
In an April 2025 exchange, Richard Chavez wrote to a young female staff member, quote, hearing you are in town, wishing you would let me know, I could have made some excuses to get out and show you around. Please keep this private.
Don't worry, buddy. No one's ever going to see this. Lori's probably like, God damn it, Dad, now you know how to use your phone? This is creepy and disgusting and also such a classic parent text. Even when they're being perverts, they're like, well, it would have been nice for you to give me a heads up you're coming to town. But this is crazy. There's no way Lori knew about her husband and her dad, right? Right?
Some of the young women were instructed by the labor secretary herself to, quote, pay attention to her husband and father.
Wow. The labor secretary heard Kash Patel had a scandal, and she's like, hold my beer. And my wine, and my stack of dollar bills, and my dad's penis. As part of Trump's efforts to pressure Iran to open the strait, the U.S. Navy is blockading all Iranian ports along the coastline, which is a very complex, difficult task. But luckily, we've got the steady, stable leadership of U.S. Navy Secretary John Phelan to get the job done.
U.S. Navy Secretary John Phelan ousted from his position, effective immediately.
What? You're in the middle of a major naval operation and you're firing the guy whose job is to be in charge of major naval operations? Just because what? He looks like a high school principal who's always asking the girls for hugs? How How else are you going to say congrats on sophomore year? There must be a reason.
Tensions between Phelan and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth had been mounting, according to multiple sources familiar with the relationship. The approach Phelan was taking when it came to shipbuilding appears to have been the main reason for the firing.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can't tell you how many friends I've lost arguing about shipbuilding. It's actually kind of sad. Tim, Gary, Todd, I know we haven't spoken since our big fight about whether a displacement hull is superior to a semi-displacement hull, but I still think that a semi-displacement offers better balance of range and speed, but I wish it hadn't torn our friendship apart, especially since none of us were actually building a ship. Also, sorry for banging your wives. In retrospect, that was childish and uncalled for. I think that'll do it. But this firing is a little concerning, especially because we're losing all of the military expertise that I'm sure John Phelan had been bringing for the job for, I assume, years.
Before taking the job just 13 months ago, Phelan was a Florida businessman and a major donor to President Trump's campaigns. He had never served in the military.
Holy shit, that's it? They put a guy in charge of the U.S. Navy because he's good at being rich? Secretary, 6 incoming torpedoes. Quick, throw some money at him. I mean... But still, Trump hangs out with lots of rich people. There must have been something more about John Phelan that he liked.
John Phelan is named on a flight manifest indicating that he flew on Jeffrey Epstein's private plane in March 2006.
God damn. That plane was like a LinkedIn for creeps. Someone on there must have been like, yeah, I diddle kids, but only for the networking. So maybe it's not so bad that Hegseth isn't Phelan anymore, but who's taking the helm from him?
Replacing him as acting head of the Navy will be Undersecretary Hung Cao, a combat veteran who ran unsuccessful campaigns for the House and Senate in Virginia.
This is a great gentleman. I love his name, Hung Cao. I love that name.
Okay, sure. I'm sure he loves that name now. But how long until Trump forgets Hung Cao's name and starts trying to get close? Hey, the carrier's under attack. Where's Fat Dong, huh? Hey, anyone seen Chubby Wang? By the way, Hung Cao was my nickname in high school. That's right, ladies. I was well endowed and my farts caused climate change. Now, to be clear, Cao does have some things that you want in a Navy secretary, like 20 years experience in the Navy. But in case you're worried that Trump accidentally hired someone normal, not so fast. For example, he seems very concerned about Christians being persecuted, even when it's a bit of a stretch.
There's a place in Monterey, California called Lovers Point.
Yeah.
The original name was Lovers of Christ Point, but now it's become, they took out the Christ, it's Lovers Point.
Oh, okay, that's very interesting. So that's actually just like Orlando originally was called Orlando, Don't You Love Jesus? Is changing it from Lovers of Christ Point to Lovers Point that big of a deal? I mean, if they change it to Rim Job Lovers Point, yeah, fine. That might send a signal. But they didn't, and that's why I have no interest in going. But sorry, I interrupted. You were talking about how all the Christians were driven out of Monterey, California. So what happened next?
And it's really, Monterey is a very dark place now.
Yeah.
A lot of witchcraft and the Wiccan community has really taken over there. And we can't let that happen in Virginia.
Yeah, no, yeah, we can't let Virginia be taken over by witches. Also, I have a follow-up question. What the f*** are you talking about?
The time's come for Iran to make a sensible choice. And it's not easy for them to do that, obviously, because the top people in that government are, to say the least, they're insane in the brain.
Really, Marco? A little inappropriate to be quoting old rap lyrics while you're talking about war. I mean, can you imagine your doctor telling you, if you're looking for the tumor on this scan, whoop, there it is. I'm afraid it's actually spread from the windows to the walls. The sweat dropped down my... But if you've been watching Marco Rubio for a long time, first of all, what is wrong with you? And second, you know that this is kind of his thing.
Every day, the Department of War lets the drummer get wicked over every portion of Iran. They should check themselves before they wreck themselves. If you don't know, now you know. We are dealing with people over there that have spent most of their lives living in a gangster paradise.
I'm sorry, we're getting breaking news that rap is no longer cool. Marco, you've got to drop this. You're the Secretary of State, for Christ's sakes, not some lame wedding DJ.
Marco Rubio clocking in for a shift as a wedding DJ over the weekend.
How is no one in this administration busy?
Inflation is soaring, which means gas prices are going up, transportation costs are exploding, and our most cherished airlines are up in heaven now, charging the angels for water. Now, you know what? Normally I'd be worried, but thank God we have Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, who I'm sure is laser focused on fixing it.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy is starring in a new reality show, encouraging people to hit the road.
Duffy and his wife, Rachel Campos Duffy of Fox News, met on MTV's Road Rules All-Stars. And they and their 9 children are channeling that past in this 5-part YouTube series.
Wow. First off, 9 kids? I guess we know someone who's not underbabied. Now, you might be upset that your tax dollars were spent on sending Sean Duffy and his entire Wu-Tang clan on an all-expenses-paid trip around the country. But don't worry, you didn't foot the bill. It was the other kind of corruption.
Duffy says no taxpayer dollars were involved, neither he nor his family were paid, and sponsors picked up the production tab. But looking at some of those corporate backers, government watchdogs warn that the secretary is enjoying a road trip that appears to have been funded by the very industries his agency oversees.
Wow. I mean, Boeing just can't help being part of a disaster. The focus of the event was America's lower birth rates. So, of course, Trump invited RFK Jr., health secretary, and guy whose iPhone screen is always greasy. So let me ask, RFK Jr., why are birth rates down? And please remember, when you answer, don't make this weird.
For men in 1970, men had twice the sperm count as our teenagers do today.
I'm sorry. Did he just do a back in my day for sperm? Back when I was a teen, we had twice the jism. Our spunk knew how to drive a stick, you know? They don't make man butter like that anymore. Now, he didn't explain how he knows that, but knowing RFK, I'm sure he personally went down to the sperm bank and sampled them like gelato flavors, you know? Can I get it with sprinkles, please? Okay, but it's interesting that he mentioned teenage sperm in particular, because when you look at the lower birth rates, that's mostly driven by fewer teen births, by which I mean teenagers giving birth, and not moms giving birth to teenagers, you know? Oh, congratulations, it's a Mr. Beast fan. I'm just confused why the government is apparently trying to reboot 16 and Pregnant.